What the fuck is up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Tony's Corner, a Great Girth segment. I'm your host, Tony. Today we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different. Another trailer reaction, of course. I was going to do a VHS, tier list ranking, which is coming. That is coming. But decided to do this instead. It's mostly because it is something that I am interested in. And I think that, might as well just say fuck it and try to explore it. So we're going to do a trailer reaction to Shelby Oaks. This is the new trailer from Chris Stuckmann. For those of you that don't know who Chris Stuckmann is, he's kind of a big deal. He's why I got into this. Chris Stuckmann and Jeremy Jahns, those were the guys that really were the pioneers of YouTube movie reviews. They are a big deal, dude. They're a big part of why I got into podcasting. They're a big part of why I wanted to do this specifically. And so, I always look up to those guys for that stuff. And I know that's crazy because they're just influencers. They're not, these people aren't celebrities, but in my opinion, they are. With the lengths that they've reached, we're talking like the Cody Leaches of the world, these guys are huge. Everyone knows who they are now. And we all strive to be there. And honestly, there's so many of us doing this now that it is kind of difficult. But a lot of us see it as a way into the business or as a way into chasing our dreams. I mean, for me, it really is a way into the business, but it's also chasing my dreams. So I don't necessarily want to be a famous actor or a famous director. I more or less just want to be part of the business to see how it works because I love movies so much. To the point that this is what I ultimately wanted to do was be a movie critic. This has always kind of been something that has been a part of my life since I was a kid. I would critique movies for friends, all that shit. But anyway, Chris Stuckmann, though, over the years, I will say this. In the last 7 years, I have pretty much strayed away from him. I started watching him back in 2015, I believe, or 2016. And dude, I was blown away. But I found Jeremy Jahns through Chris Stuckmann. And then over the years, I, kind of stayed true to Jeremy Jahns. And somewhere along the lines, I found Cody Leach and he became my number one guy to go to. But I still like Chris Stuckmann. I just, I don't like that his reviews became more about, let's talk about what's good about him versus what's bad. And Cody Leach said it best. It's not necessarily that you're trying to shit on movies. It's more you're just trying to give your 2 cents. But some movies have to be shit on. And I understand where Cody Leach is hey, dude, you're a movie critic. But again, Leach said it best. The guy is trying to get into the business. So he can understand where dude's not trying to step on feet, which I understand too. I mean, if you're trying to get into the business, bad-mouthing it and bad-mouthing certain people isn't going to help you. Chris Stuckmann was smart. I have so much respect for the guy. As much as I'm bitching about his movie reviews and how it turned out, he is a smart fucking guy. He just directed a movie, and we're about to react to the trailer. That is called a success story within itself. I aspire to be like these people, and you should want to be like these people, dude. If you are listening to this right now, and you're someone that does what I do, or you're a fan, and you're thinking about it, dude, that is a success story. That is probably the smartest thing anyone could have ever done. We all want to get there. One day, maybe we all will. Who knows? A lot of us live online now, so it's super cutthroat, super competitive. But fuck it. Let's see what 10 plus years of Chris Stuckmann has brought us to. So here we go. Trailer for Shelby Oaks. Now, keep in mind, I have never seen this fucking trailer. I've never even heard anything about this. I know that Stuckmann had said that he was getting close with some of the guys that were making the VHS films, which are, dude, my favorite. I love those. So Chris Stuckmann, again, dude, congrats to you, dude. I know you don't hear this. I know you'll probably never hear this, but what you did is it's huge, dude. That is what all of us want to do. So congrats to you for what it's worth. All right. Now let's check out this awesome trailer.
Do you need help?
She finally let me go.
Goddamn. Ah, neon.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Paranoids. Today we're taking our first foray into the abandoned town of Shelby Oaks.
I've been searching for Riley for the last 12 years. I know my sister's not dead.
Mike Flanagan, there you go. Hell yeah.
Bodies were found outside of Shelby Oaks. Riley Brennan is still missing.
The last night I saw her, she said she saw a man standing in her window, staring at her. Yeah. You live alone out here? Nope. Where is my sister? Riley.
Okay, so it looks like old school horror. I can say that. October 3rd. What is with everything coming October 3rd? What in the fuck is that? I'm sorry, but there's a lot of horror properties and like just other properties I'm waiting for that come out on the 3rd. What in the fuck is that? All right, so this is what I would call a good trailer. It does not reveal a lot. We have a basic plot. All right, this girl's looking for her sister. She's been missing. She knows that she's not missing. And she knows that something took her sister that is a little more sinister than normal. There we go. I like that you don't get to see a lot. I like that a lot of this is kept lock and key. That is how movie trailers should be. But aside from that, I think that the way it looks is pretty like promising. It does look like something that, and I've been saying this, you're seeing a lot of this lately. You're seeing a lot of films come out that look like they would have came out in the early 2000s, specifically like between 2000 and 2010, I guess, or maybe even 2008. You're seeing a lot of movies that you would have seen at that point. Because let's be honest, the last 10, 15 years, we have not had movies like that. Our movies have been very just different for various different reasons, depending on your genre. But this looks like an old school-esque type film. And I like that. I like that it looks like something I would have watched in like middle school or high school. However, I do love that I don't know who is in this. Like I've not, from what I've seen trailer wise, dude, I don't know anybody in this movie. And I also like that too. I know how stupid that sounds, but I am a kind of a whore for scary movies that don't have famous people in them. I like when they got, A-listers and B-listers or whatever. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I love my horror veterans, you know what I mean? I got my respect for them, but I love when there is nobody in it that you know. And maybe it's people, maybe there's someone in here that you know, but I don't know anyone that I've seen in this film, dude. Or in the trailer, I should say. I have not one clue who anybody is. And I like that because it gives me the chance to understand and kind of care about the characters. It is hard when you have like a bad example. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. It is bad though when you have like I don't know. Let's say you got like a Jessica Simpson in a movie, right? She's not the character. She's just Jessica Simpson. It's really hard to... Even Russell Crowe, dude. I've seen him in horror films where you're like, dude, you're Russell Crowe. It is very, very hard to take you seriously. That's kind of the effect that Jamie Lee Curtis had in the new Halloweens, too. Like, don't get me wrong. I love her. I love the Halloween movies. I don't really like her, but I like her character. That being said, in the newer films, it was hard to focus because it was just Jamie Lee Curtis returning to her iconic role. And it's like, I like when there's unknowns that are in these movies. It makes it easier for me to feel something for their characters or understand their characters and decide whether or not I want to go on this ride with them. So that's another positive for me. I do like that it kind of, you can tell it touches into paranormal or like something demonic, I guess you will. Because my biggest concern is this is just going to be a movie about like some girls kidnapped by some dudes and somebody was looking for revenge. That was kind of like the gist I was getting right away. But then as soon as they mentioned Parasite, something like that it could be something like that, that's when I got interested. Because I was like, dude, I want to see something that is like rooted in it's a paranormal thing or it's demonic in some way. Like that is cool. I like when it's, I guess I'm a sucker. I like those ridiculous movies that aren't reality based. I know a lot of people like reality, but I like those supernatural films. And from what I remember with Chris Stuckmann, he does have Stuckmann is really big on horror. So that's a kind of the biggest reason that I trust him with this movie. And I want to see what he did. Like, that is cool. You guys have heard me say that I did not like Skinamarink, but dude, I have so much envy and respect at the same time for the fucking director, because that is a success story. He funded it by himself. It got picked up by a good app, Shudder. It got a small movie premiere, and now he's making movies. Like, dude, that is why I'm so excited to see this. I want to see a part of my life and where it went, basically. And Stuckmann, I firmly believe he's going to be a new name in horror. I think that's a good thing. I'm excited for this. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters, to be honest with you. I want to, but dude, it is so hard to go to a fucking... I'm part of the problem. I'm over here preaching physical media, but then here I am like, I'll wait till it comes out on streaming. I don't know. Shelby Oaks, what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to Chris Stuckmann's first film into the horror genre? First film ever, to be correct. I know I am. Comment below. Let me know. If you like what you saw here and you want to see more, you can find us on YouTube, Rumble. Dude, we're everywhere, including where you're watching it. If you want politics or you want to see a little more of my political side, go to the Great Girth Podcast. If you don't, stay here. Movie reviews. I understand some people don't like politics. Some people just don't want to hear any of it. So stay here. Otherwise, guys, thank you for watching. And remember to always, always, always stay red. It's like my favorite thing to do now.